Okay, welcome back, and we are just talking to this guy because he's obviously the murderer, but Edgeworth doesn't know that. I know that. Edgeworth doesn't. And we're about to find out because somewhere along the line we're gonna get to the bottom of this. And yeah. I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. And there must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out. Disappear. Reappear. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you gonna do? What I always do in court. Try to take over the world. I'm gonna cross-examine him. One way or another, wait, you don't cross-examine people? Phoenix Wright cross-examines people, but you don't. You don't always do that. You did it one time, but you don't always do it. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique. Ooh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir? Okay. Alright, first I listen to the witness's testimony. If I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts the evidence, I open the organizer and present the piece of contradictory evidence. Present something, I simply touch the present button. That's old news. You always do things by touching the buttons that say the name of the thing that you want to do on them, and that's how you live life. But it's not like there's gonna be a flaw in their testimony every time, right? Correct, and at those times I need to press the witness by touching the press button. Sometimes by pressing I can draw out new information and new or modified testimony. I think I get it, sir. I'll be sure to try this technique out during investigations too, even though I'm not a lawyer and I can't cross-examine people. Very well, I'll even show you how it's done. Now watch carefully. Ooh. Eyes. Mr. Portsman's logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you'd committed theft instead. This rhymes. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. And it will be by his final words that you will be brought to justice. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer. I can hear Jim's voice, and he's calling for his killer's arrest. I'll just turn myself in. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman? There is no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's logic and expose it with credible evidence. Incredible evidence. Mr. Portsman's logic. Okay.
Hold it!
Hold it! That's a wonderful soundbite. Hold it! You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. What is it? Why do you call the victim Jim? Yeah, why does he call him Jim? Well, clearly his name is Buddy Faith. Isn't it obvious? Jim is the perfect name for my companion. Jock and Jim. Look, those two names go together like peanut butter and Jim. Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name. Well, Jock and Buddy just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys I decided to nickname Jim. That's not weird at all. If he talks about the victim like he was his pet. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had theft instead.
Hold it!
Hold it! Do you really think it was necessary to shovel my shelves twice to do that? That's true. Okay, then maybe his real intent was theft. Hey, are you accusing me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth? Like, if Gumshoe really did want to steal something, he wouldn't have to mess up anything. He would just steal it and then make it look like it was never gone. Oops, I may have misplaced the steel samurai figure. I didn't know it was there. I'm pretending to be Thief Gumshoe. That would never happen, but in the case that like someone wanted to impersonate Gumshoe perfectly and then steal something, he would probably get away with it because nobody expects Gumshoe to do any of these things, even though everyone always accuses him of it. Okay. Are you accusing me of stealing something, Mr. Edgeworth? It's a possibility. Maybe your salary's been cut so much that life is getting a little too rough to handle. I'll have you know that I eat 3 square meals every day, pal. Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles, but... Poor thing, what an evil prosecutor you were paired up with. What a motive, no? Hey. Everybody likes instant noodles except for the people who don't. So, you... shut up. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf.
Hold it!
Hold it! This is a great voice. And why would Detective don't you do such a thing? Because the body was getting in his way, you had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway... Thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding.
Hold it!
Why do you think that Joe didn't notice the bloody letters? The body was covering it quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. But judging by what I've seen, it didn't take much for your detective to miss something. Who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal. There's a lot a person can understand about another from first impressions alone. I can't say that I disagree with him on that point. Oop. Slide. Why don't you say something, sir? Gasp! Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective to be the culprit. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it with evidence. I couldn't ask for a better setup for the game-finishing spike. I'm a sports metaphor. Okay, where's the only one? I'm just gonna press this and then present the thing.
Hold it!
Are you saying that those letters were intended for you? Yep, I wrote them. Jim was an outstanding detective. I would expect no less from my former partner. Looks like Mr. Portsman still doesn't understand. He has yet to figure out the true meaning behind the bloody letters. What are you sputtering over there? Can't you just think my logic is perfectly sound? Actually, there's a gigantic flaw in his logic. A gap so wide that even the good detective can spot it. I'm gonna clue Mr. Portsman in by presenting him with some evidence. Okay, geez, I'll do it. That.
Objection!
Shake head. Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there's a serious flaw in your logic. Bringing a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm in game. Because sports. I can't help but find it odd. Excuse me? Let me finish my sentence. Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking, I get it, ha ha ha. If you have the time to laugh, then you have the time to take another closer look at this. You still not see? It says who? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? It's impossible. What's impossible, Mr. Portsman? Nothing. The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. The killer went to take the file after murdering your partner. I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines.
Objection!
Objection! Possible if he could have taken the file before committing the murder. It's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. Missing letters in the detective's name where the file should be is proof. Yeah, I mean the S is gone and there's only half of an H. Detective Gumtree really was the culprit of this case. I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the file. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. Whoa, that was a backflip. Yes. It means what exactly? What does that make its dying message? It makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene. What's that? So low, I can't believe the criminal tried to put this whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir. You'll see. I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time. Well, Mr. Portsman? Ha 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 ha! Brilliant, absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic gold. Olympics. Sports. I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. Man, you win some and you lose some. That's how life goes. But everyone's so cheery even though I feel more dead than alive. Ah, but you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however. What is it this time? Were you still after me, pal? Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office? That would be me. But Mr. Edgeworth just proved that I'm innocent, pal. Whoa, I'm a doctor now. Now I'm a sports. Now I'm a doctor. Now I'm a priest. That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. And why do I sense that you still have something to say? 'Cause I'm sports. Now I'm a doctor. Sports doctor. Sports doctor. Well, I was thinking, did you know there is one other person with the key to this office? Hopefully it's me? One other person? I mean, I have... Whoa, spin. Hey, you there. Yes, sir. What is it, sir? Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me? Here's a lady? The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness. But I'm the person... Oh, I looked in the corner, and I saw the guy dusting off the body, and I swore that was the body, like, with his arm flailing in the air. I thought... I can't believe that... I'm just... I thought that he was waving his arm around. Oh, goodness. Okay, think of her as a material witness. Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal, don't. What's wrong with him all of a sudden? Gumshoe was sad. I believe she needs no introduction, because she's a recurring character. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security. Detective Gumshoe, sir. Maggie! Miss Bird is the security guard on watch tonight. I see, and your point is? My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all the office doors in this building. Whoa, whoa, whoa! If you're not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird. Or the person could have come in through the window, as we have said previously. How dare you? I would never sneak into someone's room. That's right, I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me. That's right, I did it. Can you take that as a confession, Detective? I think saying I did it counts as a confession. Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you'd have no problems with that, right? Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics. Doctor, listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. Sports. Doctor. Sports. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason. Nice. That's the reason. I'm a doctor again. Reason for suspicion. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Priest, making it all the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. Upside down, with missing letters. So you're saying she used the master key. Master key data, jotted down in my organizer. Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say? That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally because of sports. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. Why are you a prosecutor? You clearly want to go into the field of sports, but you're instead trying to incriminate people for breaking into offices. And I'm gonna end this episode right now. So, like this video if you're pretty sure a sports guy should be a sports guy. Subscribe to this video if you think that he is in a multitude of fields and doesn't actually want to be just a prosecutor, because he's also a doctor and a priest. and dislike this video if that curtain over there looks weirdly shaded and I'm just noticing that right now. Okay. Okay, goodbye.